Hello dear children, welcome back to English literature class. In the last class, I had given you some extra questions from Act 3, Scene 2. Hope you have done it and revised the act. In this class, we are going to discuss the answers of the extracts given in Act 3, Scene 2 of Merchant of Venice. So, when you do the extract, please keep open your reader. As I told you earlier, the answers may not be in the same extract. The answers may be in the lines which are given above the extract or after the extract. So it is always, whenever you do the extract, do keep open your textbook. So let's go to the extract. First extract, Portia. And yet a maiden hath no tongue, but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose the right, but then I am forsworn. So will I never be so. So may you miss me. So read the extract fully, only then go to the questions. So the first question is, where does this scene take place? It is in present tense, does. So the scene takes place at Belmont in a room in Portia's house. What is meant by the first line of the extract? So the first line is, and yet a maiden hath no tongue. Exact meaning you have to write from the paraphrase, then you explain it further. She has no other choice except to think. Her modesty does not allow her to agree openly that she loves Bassanio. What reason does Portia give at the end of her speech for speaking so long? Just to stretch the time so that Bassanio can think and choose the right casket. And what does this show about her feelings towards Bassanio? This shows her sincere love towards Bassanio, and she likes to marry only Bassanio, nobody else. Then, why can't Portia teach Bassanio to choose the correct casket? Because she has given an oath to her father. She has promised her father that she would not reveal the casket in which her portrait is kept. And if Bassanio were to make an incorrect choice, what would Portia do? It is Portia do. Portia would break the oath. The promise which she has given to her father, she will wish to make a sin. Then give the meaning. Meaning exactly you have to write from the paraphrase and see that this is in the first person and in inverted comma. So when you give the exact meaning, that also should be in the first person and should be put in the inverted commas. After that you explain it in third person. In indirect speech you have to explain. Coming to the next question. What light does the extract show on the character of Portia? So what light it shows? What it shows? She loves Bassanio, does not want to lose him. She wants to train him how to choose the casket. And what feelings does she have for Bassanio? She has love towards Bassanio. And next one, let music sound while he doth make his choice. Then if he lose, he makes a swan-like end, fading in music, that the comparison may stand more proper. My eyes shall be the stream, and watery deathbed for him. So read the full extract and come to the questions. Explain the meaning of he makes a swan-like end. You have to give the meaning. He makes a swan-like end. He dies like a swan. Meaning you have to give, that should be in inverted comma. Then you have to go to the contemporary belief. Contemporary belief is that is given clearly in the meaning parts, that is a swan dies swan sings at the time of its death. And if Bassanio chooses wrong casket and loses Portia, then his end will be accompanied by the fading music. Then, why does Portia order music to be played while Bassanio makes the choice of caskets? So why she asks the music to be played? The first thing is to calm down her excitement. Just to calm down her excitement, she asks the music to be played. Then some critics say that to give hints. Also to give hints, she asks the music to be played. Then it also makes the audience aware of its relevance to his choice of the right casket. So it makes the audience aware of its relevance to his choice of the right casket. Then, what does Portia compare the music? Should Bassanio choose correctly? So she compares the music, that is in your paraphrase, page number 120 of your reader, or paraphrase 121, that he may succeed. Then what will the music be for? The music will be like the sound of trumpets when loyal subjects bow before a newly crowned king. It will be like the melodious sounds to reach the dreaming bridegroom's ear at daybreak to call him to his marriage. And if he wins, it will also create a festive atmosphere. That's why she wants the music to be played. In that you have to write this also. One is to calm down her excitement, and some critics say that to give hints. Then if he wins, it will create a festive atmosphere. Then the examples you write from that. The next question, how could Portia's eyes be a watery deathbed for Bassanio? So it would be watery deathbed for Bassanio. That is in the meaning part. Fading music will accompany his end like swan that sings while it is about to die. Her eyes filled with tears shall be the stream and watery deathbed. Because watery stream is the river to swans, and his music will be fading away, or his reflection will be fading away in the watery eyes of Portia. Then, how would the music call the dreaming bridegroom in his marriage? It is an old English custom. It is an old English custom that at the time of marriage, music is played below the window of bridegrooms on the morning of the wedding day to call him out from the room. And that old English custom you have to write. In what way does Portia act as a romantic heroine in this scene? How is the theme of the love versus wealth developed in this scene? So romantic heroine and her modesty, you have to write about her modesty, her wit, and she retains her modesty. And in your workbook, in the characterization, in the workbook characterization, it is given what is her character in that given, that you have to take from there and write. Okay, from the characterization. Then, next part, how is the theme of love versus wealth developed in this scene? So that also from page number 155. Love versus wealth is given, heading from there you have to write. Then third one, with no less presence. Now he goes with no less presence, but with much more love than young Alcides when he did redeem the virgin tribute paid by the howling Troy to the sea monster. I stand for sacrifice, the rest I leave for the Dardanian wives. So read the extract fully. Then the first question is, who is Alcides? Hercules, the strongest person in the world. And what is the virgin tribute? So the virgin tribute is also explained in page number 251 of your reader. That is the meaning part of the reader. The virgin tribute is explained. There you have to write. And these are direct answers. That's what I am not giving you. This will make you read. Okay. And 251 and 252 meanings it is given. And how did Alcides save the virgin tribute? Hesione was about to be sacrificed, and Alcides saw that he saved her from the sacrifice. In what way is Bassanio compared to young Alcides? Here Bassanio is going to save Portia by getting sacrificed, by not giving her for sacrifice. Why does Portia here stand for sacrifice? Because if Bassanio does not choose a right casket, if anybody else chooses a casket, right casket, she will have to marry that person, and that is the sacrifice she is going to do. Then next one, meaning you have to write from the paraphrase. What are the rest aloof referred to in the extract? Rest aloof are the people like Nerissa and other people, those who are standing and watching the sacrifice. Okay, Graciano, Nerissa and other attendants. And in that reference, it is the Dardanian people, those who are the Dardanian wives, the people, those who were watching the sacrifice of Hesiod. What were the wives doing in the scene when Alcides was saving that? They were just watching the sacrifice. Then, why does Portia say, "Go Hercules"? What will she be doing at the same time? She compares Bassanio with Hercules. She feels Bassanio is as strong as Hercules and believes that he can save her. So she says, that go Hercules and choose the right casket so that I will be saved. So she will be watching. What she will be doing? She will be watching with much more anxiety. With much more anxiety, she will be watching that. And next one, Bassanio, there is no vice so simple but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand were yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. So with which theme in the play highlights in the above extract is highlighted in the above, which theme is highlighted in the above extract? The theme of appearance versus reality. And how is it highlighted? By giving the examples of lawyers, religious people, cowards who assume external appearance of courage. How can vice assume the external show of virtue? Vice can assume the external show of virtue by appearing virtuous. Bassanio proves this by giving the examples of lawyers, religious people and cowards, those who wear beards as Hercules and Mars. Then coming to the next extract. Next question. What are stairs of sand? To what are these stairs compared? Stairs made up of stairs of sand are stairs made up of sand which are unreliable compared to, and these stairs of stands are compared to cowards. And they cowards, by wearing beards like Hercules and Mars, try to become courageous. They appear very courageous. Give the meaning of the following: have livers white as milk. That is from the paraphrase. You have to search and write, children. These are direct questions. Who is Hercules and who is frowning Mars? That is also given. And there Hercules is a strongest person, and other one Mars, brave, the bravest. What are they with their beards known for? For strength and bravery they are known for. And next one, and you shall see, look on beauty, and you shall see it's purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. So please read the extract. Let's go to the questions. Explain how is beauty purchased by weight. How it is purchased by weight. Artificial beauty is purchased by weight from a cosmetic shop. How does it make the wearers lightest? Both the meanings you have to give here. It changes the external appearance of a woman. That is, that cosmetics will make the woman light. And the next is, it is pun is used. The literary device pun is used here for the word lightest. And another is light in character, fickle-minded. Okay, one is it will make the appearance of the woman lighter. That is, the dark women will appear lighter and fairer. Then another one is that it will make the people fickle-minded, weak-minded, light in character. What is referred to as crisped, snaky golden locks, who wears them and who is their actual owner. So curly golden hair which which moves in wind. Some people or women to look more beautiful wear this, and the owner is in the tomb. What is referred to as the dowry of a second head? That means it is given by another head, those who are lying in the tomb now. Who has bred this head? One who is lying in the tomb. Where is this head now? In the tomb. So coming to the next question. Why does Bassanio say that ornament is but the guild shore to a most dangerous sea? Bassanio wants to say that outward appearance is dangerous. It is attractive but treacherous, like the seashore, which lead people into dangerous sea. Then give any two example from Bassanio's speech to show that appearances are deceptive. You can give the example of golden hair, snaky curly golden hair that some people wear, and about the scarf. The beautiful scarf covers the dark skin of Indians. These two examples you can give. Now coming to the next part. Bassanio, a gentle scroll, fair lady, by your leave. Kissing her, I come by note to give and to receive. I like one of two contending in a prize, that things he had done well in people's eyes. Hearing applause and universal shout, giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt whether those peals of praise be his or no. So please read the extract, then we'll go to the question. Where was the gentle scroll? Where was the gentle scroll? In the lead casket. Give the summary of the scroll that is given, the paraphrase it is given. So direct question, please write from the book. In that way you will be reading that again and again. What praise had the speaker won? Speaker has won Portia by choosing the right casket, that is a lead casket. Give the reason which led to the winning of the prize. Winning of the prize is choosing the right casket, that is a reason for winning the prize. What was the speaker asked to give and to receive? A kiss. The speaker, Bassanio, was asked to go to the lady and claim her with a loving kiss. And meaning, please see the paraphrase. To whom does the speaker compare himself? So the speaker who is striving to win some context, speaker compares himself to the contestant who is trying to win the context. In what way does he compare himself? That means he compares himself to someone who wins a prize in the context and getting confused whether he won or not. Why is the speaker doubtful whether what he sees is true? Because he could not believe himself that he has chosen the right casket and won Portia. And children, the next extract I will be doing the next video. So complete your question answers. As soon as you come to school, we will be checking your books. Thank you. Have a nice time.